Hi, I'm Rebecca Meyer, and I'm sharing with you today a patchwork technique which is in the Techniques for Mixed Media book on page 5. So we'll be following and I'll show you how to create it. What we're working with today is wool felt and 2 print fabrics in the line and a paintable fabric. So we'll get on our way. So you're going to cut a piece of wool felt, approximately 9 by 12 inches. And then we're going to use, again, like we've done in previous techniques, using the Pilon Easy Steam 2. So I'm going to pull the release sheet off of one side of the Easy Steam. And you'll know which one it is. It's the some of them have a square design, and then some of them have a blue design. But either way, you're going to pull the other side of the film off. And it's revealing a sticky side. So then we're going to take the Easy Steam 2 and stick it sticky side down onto your wool felt. And again, there's other fusible webs on the market. This particular one, we don't use the heat to fuse it until it's all at the end. So you're going to take off the remaining film from the Steam-A-Seam. So you have a sticky side of wool felt. So the fabrics I'm using today are from the fabrics from Fabric Elements. I have a paintable fabric, which is very cool to use. And how you get started with that is you want to wet your brush, and there might be enough in this water left over from another project, which will give you a faint color to the fabric. So I want this a little bit darker, so I'm going to add some more fluid fabric paint, and I'm just going to paint it onto the fabric. And then I would come in with another color and paint it. And you can see when I'm painting over the fabric, the design pops up from the background. So I now have my wool felt piece with fusible Easy Steam 2 on it. So my next design process is to use the painted pieces of fabric and other fabrics that I have hand painted, and we're going to stick them onto the sticky side of the felt. And this can just be very, very random. And if the seams overlap a little bit, that's okay, because we're going to machine stitch this later in the process. And then you would just trim all of your fabrics even with the back side of the felt. So this is what you have now, another piece of fabric, and this is when you will use the iron to fuse everything down onto the felt to secure it. Now that it's all fused, we'll take it to the sewing machine and continue our process. Now it's time to do some stitching. And my main concern is I want to get wherever the seams are stitched down. And you can do this with decorative stitches, straight stitches. Today I'm going to use a zigzag stitch. And you can see that I'm cutting straight through some of the fabrics that knot at the seams. I think this gives it a little more texture and a little more interest. Okay, so now all of my seams are sewn. I did a little bit of texture stitching all across this. So everything is secured. And what I want to do next is even up my sides where there's any leftover fabric sticking off, or I just want to even it up. So now it's evened up, and what I want to do next is run a line of zigzag stitching all around the edges just to make them look nice and not be raw. So what I'm going to do next is to make a wallet out of this 9 by 12 inch piece of wool felt with the fabric sewn on top. So I'm going to see which way I want my wallet to be, so you kind of audition which ways are going to look the best, and I really like how that looks. So I'm just going to take it back to my sewing machine and use a straight stitch and just stitch this back and forth. And you can make this any size you want. If you want more of a flap, then you can adjust the bottom so you have more of a flap, and likewise if you want more of a pocket. So what I would do next is sew a button on here and make a buttonhole, and it would be completed.